This guide will show you the top 10 best hidden PvP rat hole base locations on the Ark Survival Ascended Extinction map, and you will not believe them when you see them. I'll give you map and GPS coordinates and show you how to easily find the best hidden and unraidable solo PvP rat holes and massive rat holes big enough to hide the base of a PvP alpha tribe. You can use the chapters to skip around the video, but if you watch the whole thing, you are sure to find tons of brand new unraidable PvP-based locations in ASA Extinction. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let's get started. I'm looking directly at the most OP PvP rat hole in all of Sunken Forest. Look at the size of this. It's barely got an opening big enough to fit like a snow owl into, but it opens up into this massive cavern, and all the way back here is full of little nooks and crannies. There's a lot of almost flat space back in here, and it's easily big enough for a massive PvP tribe to spread out in here with tons of space to live. It's just really hard to find your way back out because everything is so well hidden here. So we're looking for this little shelf back in here, and there's one little tiny hole with a bush. There we go. So I'm going to show you how to actually find this easily from the outside too, because that's the entrance, and you know, looking straight at it, it's almost impossible to find. The exact location of the entrance is 31.516.1, but let me show you how to easily find it from Blue Ob right in the middle, which, by the way, this puts it in an amazing spot for really good resources. So from the Blue Ob, look past this waterfall in that, you know, orange crystal hanging down there, and look to the right of that, and you'll see this little plateau hanging above these waterfalls. And the exact location of this plateau is 29.614.6. We're going to look straight back to the left. All of these trees go into a little cave back here, and once we get past the trees into this entrance, we're going to stand and look behind us and see two trees and a rock, and the entrance is directly to the right of that tree. Almost impossible to find at 31.516.2. We're looking directly at the most unraidable PvP rat hole in Extinction, but let me show you where to find it first. So the exact entrance is about 28.233. We're going to come out to the Wastelands and look for this building here, this one over here, and it's right between those two buildings. There's these pipes that stick out of the wall. We have to get right on top of this to find this little entrance, duck down, and crouch just to get in here, but then it opens up into a really big area to build. But there's actually another crouch point, another little tiny rat hole within a rat hole, and you can defend this spot too, and this opens up into an even bigger chamber back here. So plenty of space to build, and it is ridiculously hard to find and incredibly hard to raid. As long as they don't patch this, this might be the best PvP rat hole in all of Ark Extinction, because there's a tiny little hole that opens up into this absolutely massive area, and it's all buildable, at least on single player. You'll have to double check and see if it's buildable on official, but all of this area opens up from here, and then there's another large space back here, and it just keeps on going. So there is tons of space to build back here. It looks like all the walls seem to be solid from what I can see, so I think it's legit enough. We'll just have to find out if it remains buildable on official, just because it's so overpowered. But let me show you how to find this rat hole. So we are actually right at the entrance to Sunken Forest, which is ideal for all the resources less than a minute away. You can see all that metal right there. Just amazing base location. But we're going to this huge building at the entrance to Sunken Forest, about 20.115. We're going to look to the bottom of the building, and then right here underneath this platform on the very corner is this little spot right here. And we're just going to head up into this tiny little corner that looks tiny until you get to it. 16.5, 13.7 is the entrance to that. Blue Ob itself is an amazing rat hole at the bottom of the Sunken Forest. So there's this plateau at the base of Blue Ob next to the waterfall, and you can go right to the back of that at about 22.4, 17.3, and around the corner opens up into an absolutely massive area down here with tons of space to build. You have to build really vertical, but it is a lot of space down here on the bottom, and it goes incredibly deep. Blue Ob has tons of good resources nearby, so this is an amazing location for an alpha PvP tribe. I'm here on the edge of the sanctuary right next to Green Ob and the sulfur fields, and there's this ramp that leads up into the sanctuary. And the exact location of this Rathole opening is about 56.2, 28.9, right where the ramp comes underneath. And this is a huge base area. You can spread out all the way back here, and there's just tons of room. The only downside is the opening is pretty large, so there's a lot of space to get into, but you got this nice wall. You could set some turrets up behind it, shoot somebody in the back once they get up into here. So it's not the best defensible Rathole for PvP, but it is a pretty solid choice right next to lots of good resources, and it's extremely hard to see. So let me start by showing you this insane Rathole with just one tiny choke point to enter, and it just goes really huge back here. But I'm going to show you exactly how to find this really easily, but first, check out how much space is back here. Like, this is massive. It is all buildable on single player, and I have heard on official also. I'm kind of shocked they haven't patched this out because it is so OP. But once we come back around here, we can hop up into this chamber, and all the way at the top of this tunnel, there's also a pretty good sized ledge up here you can build on too. So it is insanely easy to defend in PvP, and it's extremely hard to find if you don't know exactly where to look, and I'll show you where to find it right now. So we're here at the ring in the middle of the city, and I'm going to start at about 50.8, 51.8, 42.4, and look directly to the east. And you'll see this neon glowing sign pointing you directly to the base spot. Go directly down from there and you'll see this gap between these two buildings. Look to your left, and in that top corner is right where you're going to find this Rathole, and the exact coordinates are 50.4, 47.2. Let me know in the comments if you're able to use this on official and how that's going for you, because this one is a very popular but very controversial PvP spot. This totally hidden PvP base location in the Sunken Forest is actually way better than it looks. It's totally massive. You can build lots of structures using regular foundations or cliff platforms attached just about everywhere here to make a massive base. But believe it or not, it's much better hidden than it looks. You can't see anything up in these roots, but it's directly above that orange crystal, and the exact location of that crystal is 24.6, 23.1. But what I love about this spot, aside from having water down there that you can pipe up to your base, being right next to Blue Ob, which has got tons of good resources all around, but this spot right here that's right next to it on that crystal pillar looks like an ideal PvP base location, and you could put a little decoy base here with turrets that are actually defending your real base over here, and people would focus on trying to wipe this one out and spending all their energy, and your real base is totally hidden back there anyway. So this is a pretty ideal spot, resources nearby, beaver dams, metal, everything you need right next to your totally hidden base, which is actually up here and not over here. If you want to build a PvP base in an extremely well-hidden cave that's actually really big, check this out. It's got large openings, but there's a ton of space back here to build, and there's just two openings, one on that side and one on this side, but the openings are extremely well hidden by trees. I'm right next to it, looking straight at it, and you can't see that opening, and if you harvest the crystals that glow, it's almost impossible to see this side of the opening over here through all the trees. So this opening is at exactly 55.2, 74.6. You're on the very corner of the sanctuary where hardly anybody's gonna go, and you're really well hidden down in that trench. So this is a really good spot to hide a large PvP base and have it relatively well defended, at least for extinction standards. This rat hole is really small, but it would be incredibly difficult to raid in PvP. It comes down to a single choke point right here with a large chamber for lots of turrets, and then has another choke point leading down to the main base area. It's relatively cramped in here, but you've got enough space to spread out a decent sized solo rat hole base, but it would be incredibly easy to defend with those two tiny choke points. And to make things even better, you've got corrupted Rexes, Gigas, Wyverns, all over this whole area that will help to kill off your attackers, and it's incredibly hard to find. So let me show you exactly how to find this. So we're up here in this corrupted region on the north side of the map, pretty close 12.940.7, and we're going to look for this oddly shaped mountain, kind of pokes out to the side towards the sanctuary, and on the other side is this weird tree thing, and if we draw a line between the middle of that rock in this tree and head straight between it, you're going to find this weird shaped rock right here. Look for that, and then just behind it into this left corner here is the rat hole. I'm staring straight at it, right at exactly 14.241. This rat hole is good for a small PvP tribe, maybe a solo base, but it goes way down into a small choke point, and then you got a pretty good amount of space to build back here for a pretty good sized solo base. You got a nice spot back here, you can sneak some turrets back behind someone, shoot them in the back as they come in, so it's going to be easy to defend, but there's not a ton of room here. But the nice thing about this is it's right next to Green Ob, next to the Sulfur Flats. It's a great location. So to find this base, you're going to look for the Green Ob, look to these two walls, and then right at the base of the gap in these walls, right about here is where this rat hole is at exactly 55.422.5. There are so many amazing hidden PvP base locations in ASA Extinction that this is just part 1 of my guide, and I'm working on part 2 right now because I have so much more to show you. I'm also working on lots more Extinction resource guides, so make sure to subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for all notifications, or you might miss those game-changing tips that are coming soon. Please give this video a thumbs up if it helped you, and please drop a comment. Let me know which of these base locations you live in on your own Extinction adventures, and if you know of more great hidden PvP rat holes in Extinction, I would love if you share their coordinates in the comments, and I'll check them out for future guides. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.